And welcome back to this special edition of RFL here on all of our available platforms as we continue to go around the region and give you the latest as we try to get back to normal after Hurricane Sandy.
And just like everybody else, we've been having a lot of technical challenges here, flow in a little bit here, but we have been able to reestablish some contact here. I want to go to Jody Goldberg joining us out of Long Beach, Long Island. And Jody, you've been there and have seen here some of the devastation firsthand over the last few days. Why don't you set the scene here, what we're looking at?
Good evening to you. We are in Long Beach where residents are finally, they're still here. They're refusing to evacuate even though there is a 7 p.m. curfew, and they're starting to get irate. It's been almost 48 hours. At this point, it has been over 48 hours since they've lost their power. And so once the sun goes down, it is getting cold out, and that's what it is right now. I'm here, and I've been going in and out of the truck, but these people have no power, no electric, and Senator Charles Schumer was here, and he delivered a sewage he delivered a sewage water treatment plant, and now that will flush out the water, and that will allow the water to become more drinkable, because right now it's not, and that's why there is that 7 p.m. curfew, and that's why they want residents to evacuate. But just like they've been telling us all along, they don't want to, because their possessions are inside their home and they want to stay where that is.
Even though they were told to evacuate in the very beginning here, and we've seen obviously some of the devastation firsthand, they still won't move, even though they've been asked to get out here. I'm curious, how long till officials go beyond just saying this is mandatory and force them to get out?
Earlier today, the police were at a woman's house who had 12 cats inside and 4 birds, and she refused to leave. And I mean, at this point, they're not bringing them out. They're not arresting them. They're not forcing them to leave, but there is a mandatory evacuation in place. And Senator Schumer said that's in place for a reason, and it's for the well-being and safety of the people that live here. And it's also, I mean, it's become so cold out, and there's a fire pit down the block. It's a little bit too dark to see it at this point, but people are just coming together and trying to do what they can. They're just adamant about staying here where their things are.
What's the biggest concern that you're hearing from residents? Obviously, the officials were focused on that water. Is it the cold? Is it the security? Is it getting back in their homes or keeping their homes secure? What's bothering people there?
It's a little bit of everything. There isn't one specific thing. And as I toured the city today, not one area. It's just all as bad as the next. It's terrible. I mean, here where I'm standing right now, Nevada and Beach Street, this is bad. A couple of blocks down this way, a couple blocks that way, toward the water, away from the water. It's just all devastation. And so not one area is worse than the next, but what people are telling me is their frustration. They're expressing their frustration about how they're not hearing that Senator Schumer was there today, that Governor Cuomo spoke and is delivering food and water, and that all of this is taking place. So that's why we're just trying to get the message out and raising the importance of just trying to stay in tune. If you have radios, you should tune in. You should just really, if you're watching now, you should tell people who you know who may live in Long Beach if you go there. And it's just very important that the message does get out.
Thank you, Jody, very much. That's Jody Goldberg joining us out of Long Beach in Long Island. We had a little trouble with that connection. Let's go to Tamani Woolley, who's joining us out of New York City. And Tamani, tell everybody where you are right now.
Hi, Rich. How are you? Well, right now I am in Battery Park City in front of the New York Harbor. Now, usually this harbor behind me is bustling. It's full of people on their private boats, full of people kayaking. It's even full of the Staten Island Ferry taking people back and forth to New York City. But tonight, just 2 days after Hurricane Sandy, it's eerily quiet. And that's because officials have put a restriction on it. There's absolutely no recreational boating allowed, and commercial boats are only allowed to go with the Coast Guard escort. Now, I had the pleasure of riding with the Coast Guard today throughout the harbor, and there is an Army Corps boat out there that's collecting tons of debris, logs, refrigerators, things that don't even belong in the water. And as you go farther up, you also see Staten Island, and there you see that nearly 200-foot ship that the storm pushed onto shore. It's like something almost out of a movie. But what really strikes you is just how quiet the water is. There was one person who was out boating And the Coast Guard swiftly got to them, told him he had to get immediately out of the water. It's choppy, it's dangerous. There's still a ton of debris that the Coast Guard says can totally destroy small boats and then leave people out in the water that are stranded. Another interesting thing, Rich, that I learned today from the Coast Guard is that there are ports right across the waterway here. And New York City is the #3 port for petroleum in the whole nation. And so they need to make sure that those ports stay secure and safe. They need to make sure that if those ports had 20 gallons of petroleum before the storm, that they don't now have 500 gallons, so they have to wonder where all that went, maybe into the water. So they are very busy. They did say, luckily, they didn't have to do any water rescues right after the storm, so they're very happy about that. But they are continuing to patrol all the waterways around New York City. They want all residents to know that if you have a private boat, if you want to go kayaking or boating or yachting, you are not allowed to do that. Only commercial boats at this time, and it's still unclear when that restriction will be lifted.
All right, Tamani,
reporting from Battery Park City, I'm Tamani Woolley. Rich and Andrew, back to you.
Thank you very much. We are going to jump to a very quick commercial break here. RFL will be back right after this. Please stay with us.